What is up, people of YouTube? I'm your host Vernon. This is Callville Bay. Let's fish that. Alright guys, so we are just outside of the marina. We're outside the marina wall boundaries. It's a location that you are allowed to fish. Back there we have the little tires. That's where I went fishing with Miguel. But right now those tires are no longer in the water. That's how much the water level has dropped. Those tires are all exposed. No fish up there at the moment. But you'll also notice that I'm already covered in some slime. Reason for that, I got out here this morning, tried some bass fishing, managed to catch one largemouth bass, one smallmouth bass, and managed to lose a carp. All of this, of course, on my little GoPro camera, which unfortunately I dropped into water, so no footage of that. So sadly we are forced then to do a different type of video using the camera I have left. And I thought about, hey, it's June, this is the perfect time to talk about carp fishing. This is when I regularly start catching carp. The waters are a lot warmer. We are having 100 degrees or 40 degrees Celsius weather out here. So the weather is nice and hot. So the water temps are rising. And that means the fish are starting to feed. So in this video out here, we're going to look at getting some carp. We are fishing some ducks. Both the bass and the carp are up in the shallows near the ducks. The carp are feeding around this area. So all we're doing is we're casting into these little open spots to see if we can get any of the carp to go for any of our baits. Alright, but that's going to be the plan for today's video, is trying to find some carp out there. Let's get to it. Because we're fishing close to these docks, we want to tire out the fish a bit. We don't want it to go swimming underneath the docks. Already lost a fish like that. Decent sized carp. Let's see if we can get him out of the water. If you wouldn't mind grabbing a hold of the rod. Big shout out to Victor for grabbing my rod so I can quickly try and get this fish out. Thinking more in the range of 6. It's not. Whoa. It's not that big. No? No. Has a big belly on it, but the fish itself not that big. Let's quickly get the hook out of his mouth. There we are, guys. Nice big fat carp. This one's feeding pretty good. Thanks, Victor, for helping me land it. Let's get this one back into the water. Sadly, I cannot show you the release on the GoPro, so we're just going to drop this. And away he goes. Alright, so basically all I'm using is my little packed bait of corn. Below that I have a hook with some corn on there, and on my second hook up here I have some raisins. Reason for that, I recently watched a video by Mad Rivers Outfitters. Their host talked about tying flies to catch carp, and he mentioned that he's making flies that look and sound like mulberries. He also mentioned that the carp that naturally came from China used to eat all sorts of fruits. That got me thinking, but why not try out some fruit? Maybe the sweetness of some of these raisins might get these fish to bite. So I'm going to try out some raisins on the top hook and corn on the bottom hook. Let's see if we get some more fish and which they prefer. Don't know yet. Yep, catfish. You called it. How did you know it's a catfish? Alright guys, so Victor correctly called this one a little channel catfish that went for our corn. Also has a pretty full belly on him. These fish are feeding quite well. Nice little channel cat. Let's get him back into the water. No.
Another cat? Nice.
Alright, so seeing how it is 100 degrees out, I was actually just in the water swimming around, so I didn't have any microphones on me, but this fish baffled me. There was a hit on the rod and then nothing. Turns out the fish was swimming towards me. I swam under the dock, but eventually we got him out. This fish also took the corn. They weren't interested in my little raisins as of yet. Alright, so let's get this guy back into the water. Alright guys, our fourth little carp for today. Let's get him out of the water. There we go, another big fat carp. Just look at the belly on this one. Not a very heavy fish, but nice big belly on them, so they're feeding well. Let's get him back into the water. Our fourth little carp on corn today. Back he goes. So what I'm basically doing is I'm dropping the fish head first and they just swim away back down to where they're happy to go feed once again. Alright, so on his way back, Victor was casting around some lure still, managed to catch this little largemouth. He's saying that he caught this on a little wacky rig. Nice to see these small bass up beneath the docks. And he's reminding us to practice catch and release angling and away it goes. Already getting some little hits. Something's feeding down there. Shouldn't be long now. There we go. Lots of weird head shakes. I think we may have foul hooked him or something. Feels pretty decent. It feels bigger. Now it's a carp. Alright, so it's weird to see how this fish is fighting, giving lots of head shakes. Just want to try and keep him away from the docks. By no means a monster, but one of the bigger ones for today. Still has some fight left in him. We're gonna let him tire him out first. There we are, guys. Nice decent size carp. Biggest one for today, not the biggest out there, but at least we're getting some good fish as well. Let's get this beautiful one back into the water. Just gonna drop him in head first again. And off he goes. What do you guys think? Should we try for at least one more? Make it a good 6, good even number to end on. Alright guys, so I think I've got a feeding frenzy going on. Lots of fish in this little area we have over here. So I'm going to quickly cast out my baits, and then we're going to have a timer and see how long it takes to get on some fish. Just to show you guys, I'm not making big casts out there into the deep parts of the lake. Literally casting right next to this little jetty. Not even doing a proper cast. Just doing something like that, letting it sink down. Putting my little policeman on the line so that we know when something's happening. Picking up the slack line so that the little policeman is in there. Opening the bail so that the fish can take some line, and putting on my little alarm so we know when something's happening. And now we wait, see how long it takes to get some fish. Already have some movement, not even 1 minute. So at this point I'm pretty sure there's a fish on the line, but I'm not sure whether it has the hook or it's just busy nibbling on the little bait. So we'll wait for it to pull out or sink completely down. Might be a little channel cat again, because it's not swimming away with the baits. And there we go. Fish is swimming towards me. Trying to go under the dock. Lots of fight in this little guy. Again, a decent sized carp. Just need him to tire himself out. Crazy to think that I started this video with my new Lose speed stick, trying to find some bass, catching my first bass on that new $25 rod of mine. But sadly, losing the GoPro meant I lost that footage. But luckily we have the opportunity to still catch some fish. Brought my carp setup out here with me today because we're allowed to use the 2 rods. So let's quickly land this guy. There we go, guys. Our final fish. This one's lip is bleeding where the hook got him, so we're going to release him quickly. But lovely little fish. Let's get him back into the water. Our 6th and final fish for today. And there he goes. About half an hour ago, Victor said that he was done for the day. He's going to make his way back. Since then, he's already caught 4 fish, 4 little largemouth bass on his way back. So I think I'm going to pack up and maybe try and hit a few spots along the way as well. But I want to thank you guys for following me out here today. Sadly, losing the little GoPro. I had some money saved up that I wanted to do some bumper stickers with, but that maybe is going to have to wait a bit. I'm going to have to get a new camera now. But that's my worries. Like I said, had a pretty good time out here catching all these carp. Pretty shallow, these fish. They're not in deep, they're up shallow. If you're trying to find any carp, try and look for places where you have big shallow flats. These fish aren't in the deep waters, they're on the shallow flats, feeding around. Mornings are the best time to try and find them, as well as in the evenings. Midday they tend to get a bit lazy, don't want to feed. But it is currently midday and I'm still catching them. Once you get them all in a feeding frenzy, it's quite easy to catch them. Alright guys, but to finish off this video, I'm going to leave you guys with this.
Hey, what's up guys? This is Victorious Fishing. I just ran into Vernon from Finally Fishing. We just want to give a quick shout out to my son, Matthew, also Noah. I'm out here at the spot. They love this spot. Actually, they be catching a lot of fish. But yeah, I just ran into Let's Fish It. You already know Matthew. He watches videos, he likes videos. Me too. I like a lot of videos. Also, like, subscribe, comment, check out his other videos. He got a lot of good stuff, man. If you guys are out here from Lake Mead, or if you guys are not even from out here from Lake Mead, if you're coming out here, a lot of very good beneficial videos for people that don't have boats, can fish off the shore. Check it out, man. Yeah guys, Victorious Fishing, and yeah man, let's fish it.